ocean. Remember when we met at the flat in Brooklyn? Deep down I think about you all day, Poppy. Knew you was a dog, should've saw this coming. You were supposed to take me on a holiday, Poppy. Say what's on my mind, but the call keeps dropping. Someone was like, when did you start acting? And I was like, I think when I was a child, because I was always acting, like pretending like things were okay that weren't, you know, like growing up like in a household that was like kind of volatile, but then like pretending like everything's okay to people. I feel like I was like, I've been acting my whole life.
That's pretty deep, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know if it's just like a defense mechanism or why I enjoy it, but it is what it is.
When are you going to start talking again?
Your lungs, you find a rush followed by boils. What's up, everybody? This is Fidel, Talking Again podcast. This is The Tap. My guest today is Meghan Gibbs. Today she is in studio. We have her here. She's a singer, an actor. She has famously covered one of Drake's songs, Search and Rescue, which is available on her Instagram Reels. Meghan has original music available on Spotify. Some tracks to look for are How Do You Know? Thank You, It's Been a While, and my personal favorite, Young and Dumb. As an actor, Meghan has many roles in television, commercials, and web series, not to mention various host appearances. Some noticeable roles can be found on popular TV series featured on networks like Peacock, HBO, and NBC. Meghan, after today, you can add Talking Again podcast to your resume. Welcome. How are you doing?
I'm good. Let's go.
Let's do it. That was my quick little intro. It's something new, something different, but
it's
welcome.
A vibe.
Welcome.
You.
And thank you for coming on.
I'm happy to be here.
All right. So I think it's fair for me to explain to people how I reached out to you or why I reached out to you. Let's start there.
Okay.
You posted a meme and it was of you yourself performing on stage. It looked like a huge concert. You had all kinds of artists behind you. And then on that meme it says, where do you go from this, or when do you go from this, or how do you go from this to this? And the next scene was you waitressing.
Correct.
Okay, so that captured me right away because there's a huge struggle, and I'm sure many people have talked about it. I'm sure people have heard about it, but there's a huge struggle that singers, artists, actors have during their journey. Okay, and let's not say your journey is not over; it's just started. No matter how long it takes, okay, because you're it's a journey.
Yeah.
Right, and it's what we make of it. So that captivated me, and I really wanted to hear about it. That's why I reached out and I said, "Are you willing to share your story?"
Yeah.
So here you are today.
Here I
am. About
am.
to share your story.
So
tell me about that post.
Sure.
Explain to me that.
Okay, so that was like a TikTok trend that I saw other people already doing. And so once I saw that, I immediately thought like how relatable it felt to me about how hard it is to go from this being like your dream back to this, which is, I want to say my nightmare, but yeah, like back to, serving tables. But I can't complain because I do work at the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel, and it's
cool.
The most beautiful building in LA. So much history. It's like a really awesome place. I work at the pool in the back, so it's like such a vibe.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful for my job.
Yeah.
One of my many jobs. But yeah, I think when you do like, as a singer, when you get to perform like in an arena and there's 13,000 people there and you get to come out, like that's like a dream come true, right?
Yeah.
That's something that you think about. Somebody's got their mufflers going.
Yeah.
Is that what it is, muffler?
Hopefully the microphone picked that up.
So, okay, sorry. Yeah. So, yeah, it's like a dream come true. It's something you've always, if you are somebody that's a performing artist, like that's like the top of the top, right? And it was such an amazing experience. And for me, like performing is such an adrenaline rush. It's like the highest high you could ever feel. It's better than any drug, any alcohol. Like it is just the craziest feeling you could ever have. And so to do that at that level was just like such a like pinch me moment.
Mm-hmm.
To then walk away from that just because it was no longer like aligning with my happiness or like my values, and have to kind of like really humble yourself and like
Yeah.
pick up the pieces again and like walk into a hotel with your resume and be like, please hire me. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like in a really tough position right now trying to get out of a situation and get into like my next chapter.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I think, you know, the one thing I've really learned is that life is just like a roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot of ups and it's a lot of downs, and it's just like strap in and ride it out, you
Yeah.
know? And I think that's been the hardest part, is just like giving myself the time it takes to really bounce back from, I guess, everything I went through
Yeah.
and the situation I was in. And I think about life and it's just always like that. It's like a boomerang. Like it goes up and then it goes down and
Mm-hmm.
it goes up and goes down. And I think you just learn to cope better every single time. Well,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
And just make better decisions, I guess.
Yeah. Now let me ask you, during that time that you were performing on stage, were you full time into this, like your dream, of being a singer?
Yeah, at that time, well, so this last year of my life was like incredibly tricky, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that's true for like most people. 2025 was like a year of a lot of endings,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of loss, and a lot of like stepping away.
Yeah.
So I had two jobs while I was doing all the
Oh wow.
performances.
Yeah.
I was working as a bartender at Sidebar Grill in Alhambra,
Mm-hmm.
and if you know, you know, it was
Ah.
like just the best vibe. It was such a fun like environment.
Yeah.
I was there for about 3 or 4 years, and I was new to California, so these people became like my only source of community. Like if my car broke down, they would help me out.
Yeah.
Like they invited me over for Christmas with tamales, and that was like my
Wow.
first time experiencing that.
Yeah.
And just really like took me in under their wing. So I worked there for a few years, and it closed in April of this past year.
Oh wow.
So it was like, boom, there goes my job and my
Yeah.
community. At the same time, I was also working for Roland Lifestyle.
Okay.
Roland makes pianos, the drum machines,
Okay.
one of the most accredited and respected music equipment brands in the world.
Yeah.
And I was working in the merch sector.
Yeah.
So we were
Sales, right?
not necessarily sales. We were building all their like merch, so their
Okay.
hoodies, t-shirts,
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
jackets,
Yeah. Yeah.
doing activations.
Mm-hmm.
And Roland is such a like loved brand
Yeah.
that people want to wear Roland on their clothing.
Yeah.
So I was part of that, little sector, doing a lot of like the production
Mm-hmm.
and managing, uh, the payments and the designs, getting files to the right people.
Yeah.
So I was also doing that for like 2-ish years, 2-3 years, and that closed also in
Oh
April.
wow.
Not Roland, but just the
That
merch department.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I lost both of my jobs, that were both like really important to me
Mm-hmm.
at the same time. And then at that point is when it was like, okay, now my only true like source of income, but also work, is doing, all these performances.
Right.
And it was really cool to have that moment of like, this is really what I'm doing and the
Yeah.
only thing I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
But it can also be difficult because then you're kind of backed
Scary,
into a
right?
corner
Yeah.
of like, if this doesn't work, then like, what am I going to do? Like, how
Correct.
am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to just sustain myself? And
Mm-hmm.
so you become very dependent on something that maybe shouldn't be like your only
Source of
reliable
income. Yeah.
thing. Yeah. So it's a risk. I think anything in life is a risk.
Yeah.
I'm just used to like doing so many different things. So I kind of just like switch brains whenever I need to, and like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, if I can go here and go there and then do this and keep them all in a balance, then that's how my ecosystem works. But
Okay.
when one thing drops off, then another thing drops off.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, how do I rebuild this? I
Yeah.
think that's like the scariest part.
I mean, most people don't recover for something like that, right? Like
Yeah.
it's just so crushing,
Yeah.
especially to have so many things just go away from you in one year.
Yes.
I'm sure that's that could be detrimental.
Yeah.
You said you've only been here for 5 years
Yes.
in California.
Yeah.
Where are you from originally?
So I'm
Tell us
originally
that story.
I'm upstate New York, born and bred.
Okay. Yeah.
And so originally from Albany, from a town called Menands. It was a pretty much a small village
Yeah. Wow.
in upstate New York, right on the border of North Albany.
Okay.
Um, and it was an amazing place to grow up. The further I get from it, the more I realize, like, wow, like, what a special place.
Yeah.
Because it was really small, so like
Small town for sure.
super small town, but we were in Albany, which is
Yeah.
the capital. So it wasn't like we were like rural in the middle of nowhere,
Mm-hmm.
but we were just a very small community. And so, like, in my school, it was K through 8. We had 30 kids in the class, and I had the same teachers. So it was like this really like incredibly bonding like
Yeah.
experience. And then after 8th grade, we went to like the town over's high school,
Okay.
which is Shaker High School. And we had to go there because our town was too small to have its own high school.
Yeah.
So going there was like kind of a culture shock, just because I went from being this like tight-knit little community to a huge like high school that, when you think of like the movies, like that typical high school, like the Friday night lights, like
Yeah.
the parties at the railroad tracks, like
Mm-hmm.
that was our school. And
Nice.
so it was really fun and just a great place to grow up.
Yeah.
And then when I graduated high school, I was the first person in my family to go to college, so I didn't really like know how to navigate it. So I only applied to one school, and it was Syracuse University.
Okay.
And I knew about it because my mom's coworker had gone there, and like my neighbor down the street had gone there, and my younger brother, who's like a huge sports fanatic, was
Mm-hmm.
always like Team Syracuse
Yeah.
because of Carmelo Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
So I applied there and I got accepted early admission. So I was like, all right, cool. I guess I'm going to college. Little did I know what I was like signing up for, like um, an amazing school, and like again, like another insane 4 years of my life going to like one of the biggest party schools in America.
Yeah.
But it was a culture shock, like it was a very, very wealthy school. Um, and I wasn't like raised like that. So,
Yeah.
I was like the kid on campus that had to work at the gym for like
Mm.
$4 an hour as a
Yeah.
work study.
Wow.
And then these people come in, they're like, can I get my basketball? Can I get my towel? And you're like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. But that's just kind of like, I don't know, like my story, like
Yeah.
always working, just working,
Just a hustler, right? Grinding.
always, so that I can get to where I want.
Right.
So, yeah, so I went to Syracuse, and then I studied social work, and so that's what I got my degree in.
Okay.
And then I moved to Brooklyn from there. And so then that's where I spent another 10 years and working in social work and pursuing music at the same time.
Okay.
So then 10 years of that then led to COVID, and then I was like, I got to get out of New York.
Oh.
It's time to make a big change.
Yeah.
And so I made one really good business decision, and I came up on like a good little chunk of money, and I was like, let's go. I'm going to California.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
here we are,
There we are.
in West Covina.
West Covina, that's right, that's right. When did the music come? Is that something that you've always had, like as a little girl, like you were just out there karaokeing with everybody?
Okay, so I found like a diary of mine from when I was like very, very little, like
Okay.
probably like when do kids learn how to write? Like 6?
Yeah, like 6 years old, 6, 7 years. Oh.
Something like that. So 6, 7.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I found some of my old diaries, and I was writing songs like back then. I remember thinking when I was little, I'm gonna be the next Britney Spears,
Yeah.
and like practicing her stuff, in my room. And my older brother was well, my whole family was really into music, which I think is true of probably any family. But
Yeah.
my older brother put me on to like Wu-Tang Clan and
Oh,
like
there you go.
TLC
Yeah.
and like Metallica, and
Mm-hmm.
and my parents listened to like the classic, I call it dad rock, but
Dad
the
rock.
Eagles and some Motown sprinkled in
Yep.
there. So music was always like a really big kind of soundtrack
Mm-hmm.
to living. When you have a Sunday cleaning, my mom would put on Dionne Warwick, or
Yeah.
so music was always really important. And I remember always my mom loved to dance. Like that was like, she was just like the life of the party. And so
Yeah.
I think that's been a big part of it for me. But I also just always loved poetry and like writing, and I'm very into my feelings. So
Mm-hmm.
my stuff tends to be a little more serious than maybe like
Yeah.
other things. Um, and then, I tried to pursue music, but like I said, my school was really small, so we didn't have like a theater
Oh,
program or
okay.
any of that.
Yeah.
And then when I went to high school, I think I tried out for like one like fall play, and I like didn't get picked, and I was like, well, screw it, like I'm gonna party for the rest of my high school
Yeah.
years. I grew up around a lot of partying,
Yeah.
so that's always been
Small towns, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And like, just my parents were young
Yeah.
and having a good time. And so I think I like took a lot of that with me.
Right.
Um, but I always had like a really big desire, to like pursue it. I just was still learning myself.
Yeah.
And then, a friend of mine in high school gave me a notebook, and he was like, I know that you can rap. I know it.
Mm-hmm.
And he named me Mega, which is still kind of like a nickname I go by today.
Yeah.
And I just started writing, and he was right. It was the first time I think I transformed from just the singing stuff into like really like putting pen to paper and like writing like full on stories
Yeah.
through music. And then in college, again, I was just like partying and wanting to do something with my creativeness, but not really like knowing how to navigate that.
Yeah.
And then I started dating my like first ever producer, and he was the first person to put me in a music studio, to give me a microphone, to um, show me about like sampling records and flipping it into a beat machine. And he really just exposed to me like how music is made, and he
Yeah.
gave me the chance to like like express myself, and we dropped an EP. And yeah, I think that was really where it all started, was
Yeah.
through him. He goes by Cool Kev, but I think maybe he rebranded. But super talented producer and a really good person that just like showed me like you can do it, and you
Yeah.
have the talent to do it. So
Mm-hmm.
just like focus,
Yeah. Natural talent, right?
Yeah, natural, but I mean, natural talent's great, but if you don't like work at it, it's like only
Of
goes so
course.
far.
Right.
And he, I think, was the person to say like, you get behind the mic and I'll show you some like tips on how to do it, and then that natural talent can actually like go somewhere.
Yeah.
So, and I think that it was great because he was super open-minded. Like at the time, like I didn't know of any like white girl rappers in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So it was, at the time, it did feel like a bit uncharted territory.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, to me, something really exciting because I didn't see anybody else doing it,
Yeah.
really, besides this one girl named Contessa. She was a like white girl female rapper in Brooklyn too. But we made like backpack rap. Like it was conscious, it was
Yeah.
like boom bap, and it was really just like such a fun time. And like in the moment, I didn't know like this was like kind of my introduction to New York City,
Yeah.
pursuing music, and like finding my voice in it all. So
Okay.
I think the music dream was always there, but it just took the right person to like help me like pinpoint it,
Yeah. Of course. Do you have any of that old like footage or audio? You do
Oh,
have
yeah.
it, but
Oh,
you never
yeah.
released it.
No, the music's on SoundCloud.
Oh, it is. Oh, it's
Yeah,
on SoundCloud. Okay.
it's old. Like
Yeah.
it's like back when you couldn't upload your music to DSPs. Like you couldn't upload music to Spotify
Yeah, right.
at this point.
Right.
The only option you had as an independent artist was to use SoundCloud.
SoundCloud,
So that's where everything was jumping off. That's where people were blowing up. Was it's just anyone can make a profile. You can put your
There
song
was a
up there.
term called SoundCloud rapper, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all started from that era, and it was really cool because it
Yeah.
was like just completely, you have so much freedom as an artist. And it was the first time that I think people really started turning their backs on like the industry and the labels, because it was like a social media for artists, and upload your music and you can comment and you can share and you can collaborate and message. And
Yeah.
a lot of people got like really big off of it.
Yeah. Right.
So yeah, that was, all the music is still on SoundCloud,
That's pretty
and that's
cool.
that was my rapper era. So
Yeah.
that's like a whole different side you probably haven't heard
I
yet.
haven't, no. But I mean, we're gonna take a quick break, but our listeners and viewers are gonna be able to listen to it right now as
Yes.
we speak. So we'll be right back. Yeah.
Yo you're no joke. I'm straight up flat broke, can't even afford butter to get in on a group toast. You see they boasting glutenized on a pig roast, while I'm famishing just trying to afford a bag of the green toke. 40-hour work week, my boss refuses OT. Can't make my rent, find salvation in the army. Balling on a budget, my taxes sure I'll fudge it. My wisdom is my wealth, so my worth you cannot judge it. Sacrificing the present, so my future's a gift. He said you're the one girl, heard it before. You don't know what love is. Oh no, no, 'cause I got a past, we moving too fast. I pray that we last, hope we don't crash. We should lay low.
All right, everybody, we're back from that little. I hope you guys enjoyed the little sound clip of Megan, or I should say Mega.
Mega.
Yeah,
Forever.
pretty cool. That's actually your handle, right? Your Instagram
Yeah,
handle.
that's my Instagram handle, yeah.
Pretty cool. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. You guys also heard a little bit of her new stuff, so make sure you guys check it out on Spotify, and also on iTunes, right? Apple Music. Yeah, so that's in the intro to music. What about acting? When did that come in? You say you tried to try out for the theater, you didn't make it.
Yeah.
Uh,
So, when did I really start? Okay, so when I moved to Brooklyn, like I said, I went to college for social work.
Okay.
So I moved to Brooklyn and I got my first, real job out in the field.
Yeah.
And so I was a social worker by day, right? 9 to 5, helping community members in Brooklyn to find jobs that were experiencing homelessness or poverty or job loss. And so really just helping them to like update their resumes, learn job readiness skills, go to trainings and get employment. So that's what I was doing during the day.
Yeah.
But then it's like this dream is still there, right? I'm making music, I'm performing at night when I can. But I'm realizing I just like to entertain, right? And so that does include, acting. So I'd heard about background acting, and I was like, okay, that's a great way to get in.
Good start, right?
Right. Lo and behold, I didn't know I'd be a background actor for like 10 years, but hey, like every experience like worked out great. So I would just apply all the time through Central Casting, which they are kind of like the overlord of background acting.
Nice.
And a great company. So I would submit my profile to them and just slowly get booked. And it's like every time you do one thing, it's like another credit to add to your, resume.
Yeah.
So I remember I would submit to them a ton and hoping I'd finally get selected. And then I did for a background acting job that was a movie with George Clooney.
Oh, wow.
And I don't remember what it was called. I want to say like Moneyball maybe. But there's like a scene where they're like at a bank or something in downtown Manhattan and something explodes. And so I get casted to be like someone running from this explosion, right? And I still remember that day because one, I had to call out sick from my 9 to 5 because I was like, this is the day, like my first Hollywood thing, right?
Yeah.
And I remember being on set and just being like, this is so fun. Like I'm literally just running for life, pretending like this building is blowing up. I don't know why that's fun to me, but being on set is like just like the best energy. It's like everyone is putting their brains together to like make this fake thing happen and we're all buying into it. And it's just fun.
And you're a part of it.
Yeah. And you feel like a little kid because you're just like when you were little and you'd play pretend, but like you're doing it as an adult.
Yeah.
But I'll always remember I was like on set and I like walked across the street and George Clooney just walked and we just like looked at each other and I was like, oh my God, like that's George Clooney and I'm looking in his eyes. And like it's little things like that have happened in my journey that like have always shown me like to keep going and keep trying. Like those things don't mean a lot, but when you like pay attention, they mean a lot, you know? And so I always look for those moments, those little like that's too coincidental for it to be a mistake, you know? Like I feel like God is like giving you a journey and these are like your little trail markers to let you know you're on the right path.
Right.
So yeah, that was my first time ever doing background acting, and I was like, "This is cool. Like, I need to do this as much as I can."
Yeah.
So I would keep getting booked for little things here and there, and just navigating having a full-time job while trying to pursue my dreams.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a lot of years of just like being, doing background stuff,
Right.
but getting to explore, getting involved with like improv comedy school,
Oh, cool.
acting schools.
Yeah.
Like every time you go to a set, you talk to other people and somebody mentions something and then you take that little.
You're doing the training, right? You're putting in the work.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like learning your steps by talking to people. So
Yeah.
they're like, oh, I do improv at this place. And then you're like, okay, maybe that's the next thing I should do. So I got to do some training, like legitimate training, which was really good. But I don't know. I kind of just feel like you can't learn some things. Like someone was like, when did you start acting? And I was like, I think when I was a child,
Yeah.
because I was always acting, like pretending like things were okay that weren't,
Yeah.
like growing up like in a household that was like kind of volatile, but then like pretending like everything's okay to people. I feel like I was like, I've been acting my whole life.
That's pretty deep.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it's just like a defense mechanism or
Yeah.
why I enjoy it, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So then like I said, I moved to LA. And in New York, like I didn't land anything big other than I got booked to be Carrie Bradshaw's lookalike, which
I can see that.
to me was like the biggest compliment you could
Yeah.
ever get because she was like, she is an icon.
Yeah.
And getting that, it was on a show called Harlem with
Okay.
Megan Good, who is also an icon.
Yeah.
And I just played like her lookalike walking into brunch. And that to me was like, okay, this is really cool because that's somebody I look up to. And now someone's booking me to look like her.
Yeah.
But again, there was no speaking roles or anything.
Of course not. Yeah.
And
No,
then
you actually have to. Don't you have to sign up for SAG or something like that when you speak? If you have a speaking role.
So right now I have 2 vouchers. So I'm 1 voucher away from being SAG eligible.
Okay.
And
the voucher means you did it once, and okay.
So you need 3 vouchers in order for the union to say, okay, like you've done the work, you can come in, pay the fees, and apply, right?
Okay.
So you can do a speaking role and you'll receive a voucher, or maybe it just depends on like the level of the production.
Okay.
But yes, you're correct, basically. But I had gotten a voucher from doing the Carrie Bradshaw lookalike thing,
Okay.
and I gotten a voucher from doing like a music video out here in LA. And I just happened to get it. It wasn't like I didn't do anything special for it. They just happened to have extra on set, and like maybe that's not exactly what happened, but I got one, and it was very lucky to get it.
Yeah.
But then I booked a role. Okay, so Dame Dash has a production company, and he makes movies. Dame Dash started Rockefeller Records with Jay-Z, another icon.
Yeah.
So I got booked in his movie called The Prince of Detroit. And so that's a story about a family in Detroit. I believe their last name is the Duncans or Dukins, Tommy Dukin. So they're something like that.
Yeah.
They're a family in Detroit that kind of like realized that the healthcare industry was like not an untapped market, but a place where there was not a lot of like Black people owning things. And so they were like, we're going to come in, we're going to learn this industry, and we're going to like build some Black healthcare. So it's a really cool story.
Okay.
And I got booked in it as a like not like a featured role, but someone with the speaking lines.
Okay.
So that was really exciting because
Yeah.
I just happened to like keep making the right moves when I came out to LA. I did this music video, then this, I met this person, and somehow my name got passed along, right, to audition for, well, not audition, to show up and be this person in the movie.
Right.
Mind you, the whole scene was improvised, so I didn't get a script. I had no idea. All I knew is like show up kind of looking this type of way, and it's going to be a party scene. So that was kind of crazy because I was like, all right, this is really a chance to like improvise, which I had done some training for.
Right, you did.
And so it was a scene at a party where she's basically being like, oh, you're the man, like these are the best parties, like you sure about your girlfriend, like I'm right here, you know. It was really fun and really silly. And that was my first time having like lines.
Yeah.
But also the movie showed in AMC Theater in Universal City or Universal Studios. So I got to see myself on
That's cool.
That was like a mind-blowing
Not
experience.
just a screener, but you actually saw the film like that.
Yeah, the film was like you could buy a ticket and go to the movies and watch it. So that was crazy.
Invite your friends. Hey, let's go check out this film.
Yeah. So that was a mind-blowing experience. And I said to him, like, you know, you're the first person to ever put me like on a big screen. And,
Yeah.
you know, I think a lot of people in the industry, I don't want to say they get outcasted, but they get put in certain positions. And then those are the people that like look out for like the people coming up,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
And I'm just grateful to have had that
That's cool.
experience. Um, and since then, yeah, I've done like a show on Peacock called Buried in the Backyard, and I play like a murderer's girlfriend, and I'm like, I get arrested, I get put in handcuffs and in
Yeah.
a jumpsuit, and I'm playing basically not an accomplice, but essentially, but she ends up like ratting out her boyfriend and
Yeah.
like breaking down, and so like crying on camera and stuff. Like that was really crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice.
So yeah, and then other than that, like one thing I did was there was a show Vinyl on HBO.
Okay.
Again, I was just a background actor, but somebody took a picture of me and like put it up on the Instagram of the Vinyl show and
Yeah.
little things like that where you're just like, okay, like I know my dream is a lot bigger than this, but this moment right now feels like everything.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. No. It's really cool and to hear stories like that. Of making it, or that to me that's making it. You're
Yeah.
working. And now I hope you're still pursuing
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
Okay.
all the above.
Yeah, yeah. We need someone to listen that's listening or now watching to sign you up to get you that other voucher.
That
Is that something that you're trying to do? Get the SAG?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
would definitely, obviously, I mean, I'll go SAG if they'll have me, you know?
yeah.
Um, but, you know, I'm patient with my journey and I
Hmm.
know, like, I'm just, like, trust God and my faith is really
Yeah,
strong. And so I'm just going through all the notions
yeah.
and experiences.
It really is cool to hear like that. Like you said, Dame Dash. People are still willing to help out, right?
Yeah.
It's like that old saying, like remember, don't step on the people going up because you might see them coming down.
Yeah.
And not to say that Dame Dash is coming down or anything like that. It's just he's doing the right thing, right? He's helping people out.
Yeah.
We already know, we spoke before, that the industry, both in the music and the film industry or acting, um, is rough,
Yes.
right?
Very.
Yeah. I personally don't know. You do.
Yes.
If you don't mind sharing,
Hmm.
maybe something like that, any kind of experiences that you've had. I
Let me
know,
take another sip.
of course, taking a seat. I know it can be easy,
Hmm.
going through something like that, right? Especially on your own here, right? You don't have family out here in California. You're
Correct.
by yourself. Please elaborate on some of those stories.
Yeah, I think, you know, like even if I was living in New York, I don't think it would make much of a difference because like I have a family and I love my family and they're all great people, but I think when you come from like a blue collar background, like dreaming big is kind of like I don't want to say taboo, but it's just not really something that's like encouraged.
Yeah.
Not to say that I've ever been discouraged from following my dreams, but it's like uncharted territory,
Hmm.
right? So I think pursuing the things that I'm pursuing, it's hard no matter what because it is such a like it's such a I don't want to say concentrated, but like it's such an oversaturated industry, right? There,
Okay.
everybody in LA is pursuing something,
Right.
and so it's hard because there's a lot of noise, and it's like, do I make more noise so you guys see me, or do I get more quiet so you wonder where did they go? You know,
Yeah.
it's really trying to understand like the temperature of everything, and I think it's also navigating like the truth behind it all, right? Like I think growing up, you always think these people make it because they're the most talented, or they're the most hardworking,
Yeah.
or they're the most creative. And I think once you start to see it as more of a, not a game, but more of a prefixed world where it's like you're either in or you're out,
Mm.
you don't take it as personal anymore because you realize it's not really like about you. It's just about what you're willing to do,
Yeah.
really. And it's so the industry is hard no matter what, even if you have the best support system. I think everybody knows that it's really easy to take advantage of people with dreams
Hmm.
because their dreams are so big that it's all you think about. It's all
Super vulnerable, right?
you're very vulnerable because it's like to me, like if I don't achieve my dreams, like I will not I will die unhappy, right?
Yeah.
Some people are like, I just want this, and if I get this, cool, and if I don't, it's all good. And I respect that. But some people wake up every day thinking, how am I going to do it?
Yeah.
Like, what do I do? How do I get it done? Like, and I think when it consumes you to that level, it's really easy to be like vulnerable because people know like their dream is bigger to them than their happiness
Yeah.
or their self-respect, right? And so it's a cesspool of like, I don't like, are we allowed to curse on
Of
the,
course.
okay. It's a cesspool of fuck shit. And it's
Yeah.
a lot of manipulation and it's a lot of like, you're either in the club or you're not. And there's a lot of like, just things that like a person from upstate New York as like a blue collar kid just like has never like wrapped their mind around until you're like in it and you
Yeah.
really understand like the politics of everything. And I think like in my journey from the beginning to here now, I mean, I think I've been pursuing this stuff for probably like 15 years now. Like I've always been kind of like a, not like a lone wolf because I always have like a good amount of friends, but I've always kind of traveled alone.
Yeah.
I think I learned very young to just rely on myself. And so I think when you're traveling alone, a lot of people see like you need help and I want to give you that help.
Yeah.
But that help comes with a cost,
Right.
right? Nothing is free. And you know, sometimes I look at other people who their parents are their managers or their friends are their producers and their family comes to their shows. Like,
Yeah.
I look at them and I think they're a little less likely to get like screwed over because there's there's like a group of people around them that are like, hey, if you mess with this person, you
Yeah.
have to answer to
You
all
have
of
that
us.
sense of protection, right?
Yeah, there's a protection there. And I think for me, like I've always just kind of been on my own lane, not to say like in my own lane different than everybody else, but in my own lane of just like being alone.
Yeah.
Like it's put me in a lot of crazy environments, a lot of crazy stories.
I can imagine, yeah.
I remember I saw this thing with Pamela Anderson and she was like, I'm not a victim. I put myself in a lot of crazy situations and survived. And I like felt like I resonated with that
Yeah.
because there were so many times in like New York City, like getting invited to a studio session and then showing up and it's not a studio session, or realizing an opportunity wasn't even real and people just making stuff up so you'll come and be around them. And anyone that's been to a studio knows there's a lot of like drug use, there's a lot of alcohol, there's a lot of like young people, hot people, like, and shit goes left very quickly. And it's hard to navigate that, especially when you're somebody who's also like dealing with your own like addictions, like trying to figure out who you are. Like it can get very messy. And I think all of those experiences are like just part of my journey and like my building blocks. But like if I could say to anybody, like the best thing you can do in life is say no. Like to anything that doesn't resonate with you, that anything that's just like doesn't feel right, like you can just literally not do it. Like your dreams will come true no matter what because God sanctioned that for you. You don't have to like bend yourself. You just have to trust and like have faith. So I think that's like something that's really important is just like literally only do what you want. And it sounds stupid, but I feel like it's not something that's like always ingrained in people, especially like women. And then I don't know, it's just been like a lot of situations you look back at and you think like, how did I not see it, you know?
Yeah.
But I think one thing that's really important is also like learning how to listen to your instinct and your gut. Like I don't know if I ever knew what that meant. And then when I was 21, right before I turned 21, I went cliff jumping and I ended up breaking my spine.
Ouch.
And right before I jumped like off this like cliff into the water, I had this feeling inside of me like, don't do this. I did not want to do it to the point where I was like, hey, you guys go ahead of me, right? But then after they jumped, I was like, oh God, I can't be like, I can't be the pussy. I have to do this. So I jumped, and when I landed, I broke my spine.
Wow.
And that was the first time I realized, like, your gut is a voice inside of you. It's your soul, like, talking to you, and it's never wrong. And the better you are at tapping into that and learning that your discernment is like really important and is there to protect you
Yeah.
and not to prevent you,
Mm-hmm.
right? A lot of times I'll think, oh, I'm just overthinking.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do this anyway. And it's like, no, like listen to your gut and then let that guide you so that you can alleviate bad situations and
Right.
just find yourself closer and closer to like what you're really looking for.
Yeah. That's super powerful. I've, I mean, I think, I'm 44 years old, and I've come across situations like that where I listen to my gut, and then there's times when I don't.
Yeah,
And it gets you, and 90% of the time it's going to get me in trouble.
that part.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just so hard. Like you just said it right there. You said it perfectly, right? Your gut is there for a reason. It's there. It's your conscience, or you can call it that. It's there to protect you, right?
Yeah.
Not to prevent. And it's just so hard. Like I said, at the age of 44, you still battle with some of that stuff.
Yeah.
And right now, as you're saying that, I'm thinking how I can relate this over to my children,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I know that they're not going to take, because I'm sure my parents told me the same thing one way or another. They
For
did,
sure.
but I didn't listen. That's just, a part of growing up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really glad that you said that, because at the end of the day, this is why I do these podcasts, is that someone's out there watching, listening, can learn from your experience.
Yeah.
And like I've said before, your journey is not over; it's just begun.
Yeah.
You say you still have you're working soon with the producer that you mentioned. Can you even talk about that?
Yeah. So, yeah, I do feel like this like journey is really just beginning because I feel like I finally am at the point where like I haven't completely mastered myself, but I'm like getting there,
Yeah.
And so I'm feeling like really like positive about like the future and like what's to come because I feel like I'm doing it on my own terms and like I'm doing what I want and what I believe in and I don't really care what anybody else thinks.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because I was like performing with like a group of people this past year and I walked away just out of my own unhappiness and just wanting to choose better for myself. And during that time, I linked up with this producer from France and we got connected through his, not manager, but someone that's involved in his world and all really good people. And he was like, hey, my friend's going to be in LA. He's an amazing producer. Like, I think you guys should link up. So this is a stranger from the internet, but I just knew it was coming from like a good place. And we had a studio session.
Okay.
And in that session, he told me his journey about walking away from a group of people in the industry that were not necessarily respecting him, and I don't want to share his story, that's his own story to tell.
Yeah.
He was going through something similar I was going through where
Okay.
you need to get out
Yeah.
and you're not sure how, but you know that it has to get done. And so him revealing this to me almost felt like a bit of like a eye opener
Yeah.
of like he's on the other side of it now and like I need to have the courage to do that too.
Mm-hmm.
And so we made a song and we've stayed in contact ever since and now we're at 4 songs.
Oh, cool.
He goes by the name of Sanxiety.
Anxiety?
Yeah. Like anxiety
Yeah.
with an S.
Okay.
He's an amazing producer. He's kind of in the future bass world. Really talented, a really nice person. And when I asked him what he sees for himself in music, and he said, I want to be the best. And when somebody says that to me, like I always believe them
Yeah.
because not many people do have the courage to say something like that. I think he's somebody that is going to like catapult into the world as like a really respected producer in the electronic world. And he's just been really pleasant to work with, just like a really nice person. We work mostly digitally. He's, in France, and I just send him my demos. Sometimes it's just me singing over my piano, or I try to make a beat, but like I don't really know how, so it's just like my little garage band production, and then I take it and I send it to him, and then he, does his magic.
Producing, yeah.
Yeah, so we're pretty far out as far as like being ready to release anything, But I am really excited because I took a big step away from making music. I took a step away from everything after I left the last group I was working with
Yeah.
because I really just needed to grieve, like
Wow.
truly. And in that time, though, I started working on a script that I'm like really proud of,
Oh,
and I'm
cool.
super excited.
Yeah.
And it's in the editing process now with one of my friends from my hometown, and he was just like the perfect person to help me drive this to completion.
Yeah.
And in that grieving process, I found a beautiful story, and I wrote it, and I'm really excited to do something with
Super
that.
cool. Yeah.
But I'm not ready to share any details
Yeah.
because
Damn, I'm on pins and needles
yeah,
here.
it's really good. It's definitely, I think, the best thing I've ever worked on.
Okay.
And I just am trying to navigate like what to do with it because
Yeah.
it's like you have a script. Now what?
You
Like
don't want to ruin it. You want it to go the right way.
I don't want someone to steal it from
Oh, yeah, that's
me
big too,
because
right?
that's what they do out
Yeah.
here. They steal
Yeah.
your script and they change one
Jeez.
line and they call it theirs.
Yeah.
So it's like it's really hard to be a creative because you have to be very protective of your work,
Yeah.
but you also have to be willing to like let it go and let it fly into the
Mhm.
world.
So do you have an agent, manager, all that, or are you kind of navigating through all this
I want to
solo
just
still?
say no because the answer is no. I mean,
Okay.
I have an agency, but I haven't seen them in years. It's
Okay.
not really an active relationship,
Mhm.
and that's no like hate towards anybody. It's
Yeah.
just it's probably more my fault because I'm not really like. I think I just shift between so many things so often that people think I'm not serious about anything,
Yeah.
and I can understand that perspective, but some people have told me if you focus on one thing, you'll get where you're going a lot faster. Just
Yeah.
cut off all the other stuff and do one thing. And like I respect that and I agree with it, but it's just not what
That's
I'm
not
going to
you.
do. No.
Yeah.
Like I have a lot of different talents and I have a lot of different brains and I have a lot of different skills, and I'm not going to pretend that I don't have those just because people can only hyper focus on one thing.
Yeah.
Like if I tell you I do these 8 different things and that doesn't resonate with you, then maybe you're just like not my audience, you know? But I'm going to pursue all of my talents at all times, and one day I know it's all going to come together and you're going to understand the empire that I've built, you know,
Yeah.
whether it's designing products, whether it's writing scripts, making music, doing social work, doing community activism, bartending. Like, I'm just going to do it all, and that's just my
Yeah.
story, you know?
Wow. I mean, you're so young and you have so many stories. I'm sure you have so many different scripts that can come out of that. So
Yeah, I'm on my 3rd right
yeah,
now.
wow. You see? So I can't wait to see what's next for you. I feel like we can talk a lot longer, but we won't because we don't, we want
I'm
to
a
save this.
yapper.
Yeah, we want to save this for the next time you come back. Because I really
Mhm.
do hope you do come back and share
I'm down.
when your next steps, and maybe a year from now, who knows, when your next project is up and ready to go, you want to
Yes.
promote out here. I invite you to come onto the
Can we
show.
do a show in the backyard?
Yeah, we could do something here, live performance. It wouldn't be the first time.
Okay, yeah. So you already have it all
Yeah,
planned.
we've had it before. We've had the stage back here, so
I can
no,
tell.
yeah. But again, thank you very much. Is there
Thank
anything that
you.
you want to end the show with?
Just never give up.
Never give up.
Literally never give up.
Yeah.
And if you knew how long it would take and you still agreed to it, then it's yours.
Yeah.
But yeah, never quit. Don't stop. Keep going.
There you go. I
Fuck
like that.
everybody.
Fuck everybody. Fuck everybody. I love it. Well, thank you very much, Megan.
Thank you.
I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Adios. Take care, everybody. Till the next time.
Breathing in your chest infects your lungs. You find a rush followed by boredom.